when I was a young nun, my mind was filled up with depression. And I don't remember why, what the circumstances were, but I do remember that I tried everything I knew to help it come into balance, to release it, and nothing was working. And then I had this idea that maybe if I imagined whatever goodness that I could connect with, giving it away, and imagined taking on all of the depression in the world, somehow I thought that there might be something of interest that would come from doing this practice. I'd never heard about it before, but nothing else worked. And somehow I had the intuition to give this a try. So when I was thinking about the things that I had that were good, my health was okay enough. I was living in a place where I had shelter and food and Dhamma practice and Dhamma practitioners to spend time with. There were a few things that I could think of that I had that were good, even though I was feeling so depressed. And so I just gave them away. I just gave them away. And then I imagined taking on the depression in the world. And to my utter amazement, it didn't make me morbidly depressed. It released the depression from my system. And then many, many years later, I was staying at Gampo Abbey, and Annie Pema Chodron was teaching us Tonglen meditation. I hadn't heard formal instructions of it before. And what she said, which really touched me, was that when we do Tonglen meditation, we're not breathing it in as if to breathe in some kind of a poison or toxicity that lodges in our system and gives us cancer or pneumonia or the flu. This smoke that we breathe in, we imagine the painful feeling that we're breathing in as some kind of a black smoke, tarry smoke, has a very specific quality of being a solvent to dissolve, very specifically to dissolve what keeps us separate in the world. So the way to do Tonglen meditation is to begin to connect with the pain, and then to imagine that it turns into this black sooty smoke, and to breathe it in, knowing that, or inviting that this black sooty smoke has a very, very specific solvent property to it, and what it dissolves is that sense of separation that keeps me separate from everything else. And then we connect with the goodness that we are aware of, and then just imagine giving it away. And one of the blessings of this practice, because one of the blessings of loving kindness meditation practice, certainly there is a huge blessing in generating qualities of loving kindness. The mind is brightened, we sleep better at night, it helps eases pain, we are loved, and things are often smoother for us, we have friends. But the real benefit of understanding and developing loving kindness meditation is not limited to the benefits of all of their positive impact on our body and our heart and our friends and the world that we live in. But the real benefit is that when we really understand what loving kindness is, we can see that the mind that is released from all aspects of separation, that loving kindness is one of its inherent qualities that remains. It's like it's what's left when everything else falls away. So when we do this Tonglen meditation practice, we connect with that mind, which is what remains when everything else falls away. And this practice of taking on and giving away, taking and giving, helps us break through the illusion of separation that is really one of the fundamental causes of suffering in this world. So we begin Tonglen meditation, closing the eyes, sitting upright, allowing the spine to elongate and the neck to elongate and the top of the head to reach the highest point. And to begin with just a few minutes of breathing meditation, where we connect and feel the in-breath, the out-breath, and allow attention to settle. Allow attention to settle. It isn't forced. It isn't boxed in. It's just allowed to settle by bringing attention to the in and out breath. And so we can begin Tonglen meditation with connecting with something fairly mild that's painful. And we can start with ourself. It might be an ache in our leg or back. It might be a sadness or a feeling of loneliness or a despair or depression or anxiety. It's lurking around the corner. Whatever it is, as we allow our attention to go to that which is a little painful, we can imagine breathing in that pain. And as we breathe it in, we allow it to transform into a solvent that releases any sense of separation. That boxes and separates and isolates and compartmentalizes who and what I am. So I breathe it in as this black sooty smoke, and what I breathe out, what I give back, what I generate and send out, right exactly to where the pain is whatever I have that I feel I can connect with that's part of my goodness. I take on the pain and I give back my goodness, the things that I treasure, what is sacred to me. Breathing in, allowing the pain to turn to a black sooty smoke that dissolves duality. Breathing out, giving away all that I cherish, that I love, that I have. And so doing this just for a few minutes, without pushing, without forcing, just breathing in the pain and sending out what is good, what is treasured, what we have that's connected to our own goodness. And then feeling the result. Coming back to the ordinary breath, noticing the impact on the body. And opening your eyes. So what we just did with ourselves can have many different variations to it. We can stand next to somebody who is in pain. We can imagine the pain of somebody who is at distance. We can imagine the pain of a circumstance. And we can breathe it in. And allow our heart to feel the impact of that, of breathing in that pain. And we can breathe out the blessings, the goodness, the joy, the abundance, the safety that we have. And watch the impact. Watch the way it can transform a sense of helplessness, powerlessness. Watch the way it can touch another and extend in empathy. Watch the way that tension can release. Watch what happens with the practice of Tonglen.